kind of sad because a lot of range heroes struggle into Mars just because of how Arena works. Like Luna, who's traditionally pretty good against Mars, is banned out, right? Because the glaives bounce through the arena. Terrorblade's gone. Medusa's still in the pool, but she doesn't really do a lot of damage for a long time. So I don't know. And there's no real like synergy with Darkseid outside of Nyx to like to put an Ion Shell on, right, and like have them go in and just do as much damage as possible.
Feels like they're better off getting like maybe like a Morphling type hero where it's like you can do magic damage as well that doesn't maybe worry about the bulwark as much. Oh, sorry, Morphling they banned themselves. I'm just kidding. Yeah, and and I think this is a trap. These teams, you know, like we got last pick of the draft, we're gonna last pick this hero, but then you get there and you're like, oh, everything that's good against their draft is banned, and it's just sometimes this like moment where like they've used over a minute thinking about this last pick, which is meant to be their boom, gotcha. We just won the draft with 10th pick, but what is that hero? We're gonna find out soon enough. But
Wraith King.
Okay, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Explain why, Sheeple.
Great again. I mean, obviously it lives through a chrono because what T1's game plan is going to be is they want to kill you in one go. Like they want this isn't a sustained fight, right? This is we're using arena, we're using chrono, we're killing you now, right?
I wonder what games they have been playing, Jonathan. We've had chats with these boys. Been very, very upset with the options they've had for themselves in their free time. We won't mention the games, of course, because you know, God forbid we bring those up. But my goodness, hopefully they got some Dota in.
Oh yeah. I mean, at least, you know, we see Savage. He's a very Dota-centric person. He's been focused. So at least you can depend on your pause one here to go back and forth. But it should still be quite the back and forth match. You know, that last pick, Wraith King, just a direct counter to Chrono. You're going to have to kill Young God twice. And we've talked a little bit about Young God in other tournaments. This guy's a promising player. Hasn't had that much exposure, but we'll see if he carries through here.
Oh, level 1 team fight going to start straight off the back. Cuckoo looking to be in trouble, but they're going to try and fight back. It's not looking good, though. Cuckoo going for a run. Still one right click away from dying. Meanwhile, towards the north, they are still going at it, but nobody's dead yet. 23 Savage now trying to loop around from the side, but can't get to the high ground of that Radiant Triangle. It's like TNC. They're just going to keep aggressively posturing against T1. Already a bit of a struggle here, but I suppose we should have a look at the top lane as well. You've got Young God and Febby up against Zephyr, and of course, Cuckoo on the Mars. Cuckoo somehow not dying earlier on. Couldn't quite believe it even to this point. Talk to me about this lane though, Jonathan. I mean, do you expect T1 to have any issues here? Do you think Young God maybe struggles a bit here on the Wraith King? What are we expecting?
I think it's really important for the Disruptor to actually stand forward, use all his mana pool. We talked a little bit about this early on, Mike. You have to use that Thunder Strike to zone out the enemy, to ensure the lane's free for the Wraith King. This is a bit of a shakeup for Febby. Most recently, his most comfy pause 5s have all been really sacrificial and healing.
Play hard. Yeah, he's going to go down here, John. Whitemon able to pick up the kill. Zhao Yu unable to do anything to help in it. It comes
into near perfection. Playing so low on HP, Carl going to get the bottle top up on mid, so he gets to hold that lane a bit longer. I think the only good news for TNC is that mid lane. You know, Razor's finding decent farm, decent levels coming through. Yoa's going to hit level 6 soon. You've got the Tundra duo at play, but I don't know if they have enough to follow through here.
Oh, Whitemon could be in trouble. Link is going to be there. Kinetic field, way off the mark from Febby. He did not get the glimpse off either, so now the cookie back in. Carl, he lands it onto Yoe and takes him down. Just so darn easy right now, as T1 will go for a bit more. Onto play hard, they'll find a double. And Carl's even got a DD rune waiting for him, John. And can you believe that? Everything going completely perfectly here for T1.
Yeah, just every single thing lining up here for T1. Even the push down bot not happening here from TNC. And there's always the threat for counterplay now from T1 with a chrono available. So TNC, they're grouped up as 4. They're dedicating their heroes here. They've got level 6 and Febby. They need to find this fight.
Time walk away though, Whitemon, he's going to be there with the Nightmare if necessary, and now the TPs are in from T1. They're ready to force the fight. They've got Chrono up. Savage, he hasn't found it. No, he has. He's got 3 targets in the first Chrono of the game. They'll drop the back wall, but it means absolutely nothing. They just chase them down. Fiends grip out. They've got the Wraith King. They've got everything they could ask for. That Savage, he doesn't even go back for Young God. Eventually does. The Wraith King is actually running away, but eventually they will pick him up, at least for the first life. And there's your second now with the spear out from Cuckoo. They'll get another kill onto Young God. And TNC will find nothing for their trouble.
That chrono goes off. So I think for T1, yeah, they're just going to wait back a bit, get some more items, go for the smoke play now. Let's see who they catch.
They've got everything. Apart from that Sonic Wave in the arena, but who cares? You've got the chrono, you've got the kisses, that's all you really need. TNC, they are on the low ground right now. This could be a bit of a disastrous position for them, and Savage is going to dump in another great chrono. He found 2 primary targets and the kisses. They are going to go right in for free. Already found the first life, and now Yoe. He's been caught out by Whitemon. He'll try to run with this BKB up at Savage, and Carl will just chase him down to the ends of the earth. Eventually, he will drop as they continue now. The arena is back up. Zephyr, he does finally end up going down. Young God, in the meantime, is somehow still alive. In fact, they found the Aegis on Savage, but it won't matter. He'll respawn up, no problem, as Young God does finally drop him the second time. And play hard. Well, he just brought back. He'll be surged away by Zhao Yu. He just gets blown up immediately by Carlos. Now a big smoke is there. T1, who have they found? Yoe, he gets caught out right in the BKB. They cannot stop Savage in this chrono. He'll go after play hard, but now the Fiend Grip is up in the arena. Will also be dropped here by T1. Yoe just gets blown apart as they even found Zhao Yu. Young God, he's the only man left, but it's not looking great for him. He'll try to get underneath those C4 towers, but they're not safe either. Savage, he's happy to fight. Carl? Carl's blinked in. Static Storm's been dropped, but he's got the BKB up. He's just manning up here. He'll blink right back away, but now Savage is back in, but he rewinds again. Yoe, well, he knows he can't fight. But you've got Aegis up on Savage. There's not really too much to be afraid about down that bot lane anyway. Everyone's left. Does he want to cancel TP? Yeah, he will. He'll get the cancellation off Carl. He'll try to turn now, but should not have enough. And he won't. But top lane, JhonxFire has rotated onto Young God with the Scatter Blast. It's off the mark. Savage, he'll still move in. They've got the chrono up if they need it. But they probably won't, considering how much damage Savage is doing right now. In fact, now the spear round does catch the Disruptor Febby. He's just going to die to the Mortimer's Kisses. And now they've got the Raid King trapped up in the Fiend Grip, through the BKB out. Young God is gone. Yoe, he shows up at Savage. He gets another great chrono. On the 2 heroes into the arena of Cuckoo. It's just clinical. It is an absolute clinic here as Zhao Yu gets a big vacuum off, but the GG's been called. They have seen enough. And T1, they clean up game number 1 against TNC Predator. And I'll tell you what, John, wasn't even close.
It really wasn't. T1 just played a masterclass game. You know, their execution was on point, their coordination as team was up there. You can see them all cool and calm, collected, not too excited. I think they expected to find that win.
I thought it was a perfect morph game, but you know,
my bad,
you have not learned about the caster curse yet, but we're gonna quickly learn.
I'm a caster blesser. That's my. Okay. I'm a new talent. I'm actually anti you other casters.
I'm anti. John, welcome back. So game number 2 between TNC Predator and T1. And John, I didn't ask you this last game. I'll ask you the hard question, because you haven't had the chance to answer today. Who has the better draft? And I think we both know the answer to that question, but who has it, John?
Well, T1, they've got the specials out. We heard the panel, we heard Cheap say it, Savage Morphling, even Cuckoo Tim. You know, that's a throwback we don't get to see too often, but it's something he specializes in. So I'd say T1, Mike. I think we saw the reaction of Whitemon. We saw how happy he was with the draft.
John,
it shows the confidence of T1 there.
You may not have much time, John. These teams, they want to go at it at level 1 again. It seems that... never mind, Cuckoo. It's kind of debating me. Go on, Jonathan. You were saying... You were even calling out. We were watching the draft, and you were saying, once you saw that Dark Willow, you wanted the Savage Morphling to come out. You kind of predicted it to be there.
I mean, it's just great. You've got the Ags combination down the line. I mean, you can always go E-Blade to burst people down, but the Ags combination with Willow, and even the Tim... Right, you turn into Timbersaw, you've got 2 tanky frontliners just zipping around, doing pure damage. There's a lot of value here for the Savage Morph, and again, it's a throwback all the way back when Savage showed up in 2017 in TI Quals with Jenis. Like, this was the hero he was on, right? This was the hero he was known for along with his Terrorblade, so it's good to see T1 bring it out. We see it sometimes, but not too often.
Very aggressive with the Whirling Death. It's one of those things, you leave Young God alone, he is not going to be able to sustain himself in this lane. Especially while Cuckoo's at level 4 now. In the meantime, though, top lane, they've made the jump in onto the Io now, so Febby is going to be in trouble and does immediately go down. Zhao Yu, he is at least going to try and trade here with Zephyr, but it's not looking great for him. He'll have to go for a run, does try with the swashbuckle, but in the end, Zephyr's fine. In fact, they'll keep up the chase now with the Cursed Crown out. Zhao Yu, he doesn't really have a great way out. He'll try to walk into that T1 tower, but the chase is going to continue as now the Brambles does lock him down. He'll try to eat a Fairy Fire. Whitemon, how far do you want to go? Not far enough for the Ignite. Will be more than enough for the Ogre. No problem here for T1. Is it too far? You look back at that mid lane, Yoe, he started again. That mid T1, getting very unhealthy now. Cuckoo, who'll be forced to rotate as Yoe tries to move back in. They do get the stun off. Rolling Thunder's going to be there. They'll commit onto Carl. They've got the Rolling Thunder. They've got the stuns off, but can they get the kill? Carl, he is still alive. He finally gets the arena down just in the nick of time. And Febby now, he's trapped up with Yoe. Yoe, he might just run away and leave the Io to die, but he is so darn low at the moment as Febby's gone. And now the Chakram just barely landing from Cuckoo. They'll move on to Xiao Yu. Tips out to the grave from Carl. And nothing works out here. For TNC, they are just trying to get themselves out. But Savage is joined on that Morphling. They'll go after the Pango, they'll secure the kill. The Young God, he is trying to at least get a support for their trouble, but he's not even going to find that as Play Hard. He'll be another one to drop. Young God, I mean, all he can do is hit them a few times. Playground, Savage, he's around. Whitemon, he'll break the smoke. Infest immediately out onto the Pango. Cuckoo just kind of baiting with the chains in as now they jump in. Xiao Yu forces the BKB out from Carl and Yoe. He's been caught out immediately. They don't want him to die like this, but he's gone. Just so darn quick with the try and turn onto Savage with the main control out from that Rolling Thunder from Xiao Yu, but nobody's dying. Absolutely nobody going down here from T1 as now they get the spear out. Savage, he'll keep chasing down Febby and Young God. So they'll go towards the south. They want the bigger targets, but towards the north they've gone Xiao Yu. That'll be your Pango gone. In fact, Young God, he'll try for the Rage TP out. He's going to make it. But the net worth, it continues to increase the way of T1. The Savage now, have a look for a bit more. With this Eye of Skadi now up, he'll spot out Young God. He's got Febby there on the IO, and that should mean he's safe enough to just walk out of there.
He managed to bail out in time, but the map is still under control of T1. TNC don't have much leverage to really leave the protection of these tier 2s at this point. Their bot jungle's warded up, their triangle's just taken control by T1, and now their mid tier 2 is going to be pressured. They need to fight against this.
Oh, they're going to try and force a fight right now onto that Willow, and they've got him. Zephyr immediately down as now Savage will rage up initially with that Lifestealer form, goes back in onto Young God. The rage is there, Young God, but now he's fine. In the meantime, towards the south, Cuckoo dropping very low on that Timber, still dropping low, needs a way out, but will change towards the north. There's now Young God, he needs his own way out. He'll barely get the infest off onto Yoa as Savage is still playing with this HP. But Carl, he's been left behind on that mask, but it won't matter. He's a tanky target himself. He'll get down Xiao Yu as Young God continues the chase, but can't get the job done. Back in on the Cuckoo. They are still trying to kill this Timbersaw off, but he has the Yule Scepter available. Dukes out the stun, but eventually does end up going down. Now T1, not feeling too confident to stick around, will have to leave Whitemon behind. And I'd say that's a pretty successful team fight from TNC. Very dangerous, but the smoke has broken now on Cuckoo. Oh. Look around, Febby is going to get caught out, or does he? Spear, not going to land yet, but there it is. The IO, automatically gone as Young God. Is now chased down here by Savage. Yoe, he's going to try and jump in. In fact, Xiao Yu's there and Febby's brought back. They will go for the team fight. They will at least find 2 supports for their trouble. So you kill Febby, you force a buyback, but they get 2 supports anyway. In fact, they're going for more now. Savage has been caught out. He'll try to rage and walk away, but Cuckoo, he'll jump in. They're going to try and force a fight. Savage immediately gets a dieback onto Febby. Xiao Yu now, very, very low, but should be just fine as Young God. He'll try to go back in. We are aiming. It is going to be Carl on that Mars. But Carl, he'll get the spear off. Still armor toggling, still trying to survive, just barely alive in fact, as now he's still getting out of there. Carl, how do you not die throughout all this? Young God finally takes him down, but it does cost them quite a bit. These armor toggles from Carl's been a real problem here for TNC.
Actually gone for the tier 4s. Like, Carl's in position, playing with a bulwark, showing off what they can do, and yeah, Savage goes for it.
Well, why the hell not? Hardly any buybacks available here for TNC. At least you don't have Young God. And that's the main one you need right now. P1, well, they're going to force out the Xiao Yu buyback, and that'll be enough to go towards that top lane instead. Get the secondary lane of barracks. It'll be an easy racks to be taken down, as of course TNC, they will not try and force a defense. But now the D4s are going to come out. Savage He wants a Young God buyback, but there isn't one available. So he's going to know to just go right after that Ancient. There's not really much to be afraid of here for this Morphling as they make the jump in. Yoe, he's going to be alright for now, but Xiao Yu, he'll Rolling Thunder away. Savage, he's just trying to focus down the Ancient. They've at least got the Ancient, the Aegis gone. They're onto that Dragon Knight now. Just such a long stun duration. He cannot move, and Yoe, he's gone. He'll buy back. He'll try. With Young God up now, they might be able to fight back. Factorina is down. They've got Xiao Yu again on the Pango. Invest to try and save. Relocate out. They have managed to save Xiao Yu's life, but can they save Yoe? Not quite. It's a dieback immediately. The GG's been called. They are fountain diving them in this game number 2. T1. It was a much closer matchup, John, but I'd still say a very confident victory here for T1 as TNC. It does seem like they are improving game by game, but a pretty tough matchup against T1.
Yeah, it's not the best way to kick off your Div 1 run here for TNC, but it is what it is. The region's just jam-packed with so many good teams.